Happy Sunday, everybody. As always, we are gathered here on the most savage of Sundays to celebrate and honor horror, darkness, and the unknown. Carpenter, hear our prayer. What's going on, everybody? It is another Sunday, another time for the Sunday Savagery to commence. I think I took last week off on that, so we're back doing it again. I decided what we ought to do today is sort of revisit one of the old topics that I had on here. This one's a bit of a throwback, revisiting. Some of you guys might recognize the name there for this episode, the TNA special. For those of y'all who've been around long enough, you might remember. I'm sure, maybe I still have it. Let's pull that up real quick, see if it's still on here. Back when I was doing my original live show in the flesh with Filthy Dan. There we go. I think I got it here. There was a certain episode I felt, it's one of those things that's only inevitable to pull off. With a name like that and a show called In the Flesh, you had to do something with it. The TNA special, look at that fucking cheap ass photo production there. We're doing that again. Let's see if we can make it better this time. I don't know if that video is still up. I know it's out there, but I might put a lock on it. So we're here talking about that. I guess one question to pose to everyone: when is the smut factor too high? I'll just post that in the chat there. Is there such a thing as too high of a smut factor? That's a question I'll leave to you guys there. When is the smut? Factor. Yes, I have to spell the word as I type it. But when is there too much smut in a film, particularly a horror film? That we're going to negate things like I spit on your grave and stuff like that. We're not going to include those because that's poor taste even for me there. When is the smut factor too much? I don't think I have it set up to be a poll. It's just a basic question. Yeah. When is there too much? Like, I think we all enjoy a great amount of smut in horror films. There we go. We got a great comment here from Heather. Proud supporter of more full frontal male nudity. Yeah, I actually came across a few films recently that had a good deal of that. That was a little surprising. It was kind of in the shadows, but Midsommar was one where it's like, oh wow, we got a great amount of female nudity in here, but we also have some male nudity. There was another one. I don't know. I've been seeing it a little more lately though, where you do get that. I think in Sunny in Philadelphia they call it hanging dong. You get some actors who will hang dong in a film. It's like, yo, that's pretty cool. It's not a porno, and this guy's here with his schlong hanging. But yeah, I don't think personally that I've ever really come across there being too much nudity in a particular scene. There's times though where if you're watching it for the first time, I don't know. It's that classic situation. You're watching like Halloween 4, for example, right? Fucking. Oh, there we go. That's the confirmation right there. Yeah, I couldn't remember who it was, but that's it. Dolph Lundgren hangs dong. How you doing, Zodiac? But yeah, shit. Where was I going with that? Yeah, no. I remember now. So you could be watching a horror movie, whatever, and you got all these great kill scenes going on, and your parents decide to come and be like, "Hey, what are you watching?" So it's like, yeah, just sit down. It's just a good old freaking slash film, and you totally forget about the scene. Let's say Slumber Party Massacre 3. I remember there was a good amount of nudity going on there. God, that chick had some weird looking tits though. Uh, but yeah, no, like it's. I think the only time it really comes into question when you're watching these films, like if you're watching it with your folks, probably put on something that's a little more tame. Yeah, no, honestly, that's kind of where I'm at now. It's like, I mean, I'm almost 30 now, and it's like, oh shit, these young people looking better than I do. It's like fucking no need for all that. But no, I kind of feel where you're at on that one. But you get some films though, like let's say Lords of Salem and Midsommar are pretty good examples here, where it's not smut for really the sake of being eye candy on screen. It's almost disturbing in the sense where you've got like these older women who don't have this let's say glamour magazine body, right? Like you get these very natural built women, and you just have them naked, full bush and everything going on. Again, in Lords of Salem, it's like effective for being creepy, and Midsommar, it's like you got the whole plethora of female bodies to choose from there. Yes, absolutely. That's why I am negating for the fact like stuff like Last House and Spit on Your Grave, like the R&R films. I don't really see those as being smut-tastic. Really, they're just kind of that's narrative-driven smut, and that is quite often the worst kind to have. I think. I mean, it's just not fun films to watch. It's like maybe revisited every 5 years, and you're like, oh yeah, that's why I don't watch this one all that often. Depends on how smutty I ain't trying to watch that. Yeah, yeah, no, that's about it right there. It's like you could always have like a great deal of it, but there's a point where it's like you're almost wondering, is this like a snuff film? What the hell's going on here? Like, oh yeah, that's a good example right there, and that's where it's like it's not that enjoyable kind. It's like I don't know, when you're a kid and you watch it, you're like, oh, a boob, and then you realize as an adult, like oh, well, this shit's just something's not right here. It's definitely one of those situations there. Uh, but yeah, no, there's definitely I think a sort of a tier, like a tier list that you could do for that. Like, what is the good, bad, ugly, and not smut? Like, you could probably make a tier list for that. I might have to revisit that one because that actually sounds like it could be fun. Again, fun is a word that I throw around a little too much sometimes, a little too loose with. Fast and loose. I like that. That's a perfect little phrasing to use there. But yeah, I think one of the best examples, and this is of course up to a certain point, pun very much intended, I guess. The Jason Goes to Hell tent scene. That scene is just a fucking thing of beauty, a thing of wonders. What I really adore about that is if you watch the commentary, if you care enough about Jason Goes to Hell to listen to Adam Marcus and Kip something talk. No, it wasn't Kip. It was somebody else. But anyway, if you listen to the Jason Goes to Hell audio commentary with Adam Marcus and the writer, they mentioned that the couple there actually had been a couple prior to filming. Like they had just recently broken up, but they had that authentic chemistry. They had really, you would hope so anyway, that they'd gotten their fuck on a couple times. So it definitely seems like, all right, this is a pretty damn realistic fuck scene going on here. Definitely could tell that these two had been an item at one point. So I think that sort of gave it a little bit of authenticity there. I got to go back to Midsommar though. Like that's one where it's like really in that weird level. It's like I don't know if this is good. I don't know if it's bad, but it's definitely on that weird level. You got to be a real exhibitionist to sort of enjoy, because you got what's his nuts Christian uh, doing the dirty with the redhead chick Maya, and you've got all these older gals just around, and they're all humming in unison. It's really some weird shit there. Uh, but yeah, that's another interesting example. It's like, I don't know. I think maybe I could do that, but at the same time, I don't want to end up like he did there. And that movie's still relatively recent, so I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it. I already spoiled it by saying there's a massive fucking borderline orgy there. Oh yes, yeah, I couldn't remember for certain on that one. That was oh boy, oh boy. Anytime you have like naked people in cults, like I feel that's a prerequisite. A if you have a cult thing going on in your film, you almost need to have a scene where you have a bunch of naked seniors or just naked people, you know? Like, because what fun is a cult if you're not getting naked together? Good afternoon, you filthy mofos. Thank you for attending this Sunday service. Thank you, Snyder. That's always how it goes, man. Let's see real quick here. Zodiac says Jason Goes to Hell, top 3 Friday the 13th. I hold it pretty high too. Thank you, Zodiac. I'm glad that there are lovers and supporters out there for it. Haven't heard the commentary track. Only heard Adam Marcus talk on the Many Lives of Jason Voorhees doc. That is a good doc, and that for a while was actually the best Friday documentary until we got the shit. I think his name was Jason came out, and then it's like, oh my god, this might be better than the Many Lives, because the Many Lives actually kind of touches on the whole slasher subgenre as a whole. And that's what I really appreciate about that. But it wasn't until we got Crystal Lake where it was like, that's like the ultimate right there. But no, I remember for quite a few years there, Many Lives of Jason Voorhees was like the definitive freaking documentary for Friday the 13th. And it's really just like all they can plug is the New Line shit. Let's see. DK, if it's just because I'm getting older, but definitely, yeah. Yeah, no, that's, I mean, honestly, shit, since I was like 17, that's kind of what I was going for anyway. Still do, but it's like, I don't know if I could call them cougars so much anymore. They're like chicks my own age now. But yeah, no, definitely. That's something we kind of touched on briefly a little bit ago, but yeah, there is definitely that line where you get to a certain point in your life and it's like, I don't know about this gal no more, but this one over here, it's like, let's say if you had Florence Pugh versus fucking, let's say Gina Gershon, I'd go for Gina because, fucking, and she's always been a hottie, and fucking, she's aging like a fine wine there. Like Betty White, if she was still with us. Yeah. Yep. That's, I'm just going to leave that up there for a while. Rocked her hole like a hurricane. But yeah, no, that's definitely how the Colts party, though, Heather, from what I'm told, anyway. Let's see. Put it this way: Crystal Lake Memories is so damn good that we want. Absolutely, I feel like every franchise deserves it, honestly. And I mean, when you had the Nightmare on Elm Street one come out too, it's like, okay, at least the big three ought to get this. And I'm all for Hellraiser getting one. I know Nick at the Lost River Drive-In is actually working on something like that too. So definitely go and check that out and show some support that way. But yeah, 100%. Oh, I can't hit the little button down to hit there. The Decent Monsters 2. Oh, I'll have to check that out. Rosie, how you doing? Yes, we are talking cougars and smut. Gotta love that shit. You can see the care and compassion that was put into it. See the care and compassion. Oh, the documentaries, yeah. Like, I'm thinking with the Halloween stuff, because I can't go a damn stream without bringing up Halloween to some capacity. I don't feel there's the proper Halloween documentary just yet. But if you go through the Scream Factory releases there, you just fucking take all the big documentary pieces out of there and splice them into one big deal, make the Snyder cut, so to speak. You'll have a pretty solid fucking Halloween one, but I would definitely like an official one, especially since they are at a good pausing point right now for the most part with where the franchise is and where it ended up. And again, I hold no apologies in saying that I enjoyed this last trilogy. Oh shit. Someone did splice them together. Oh dude, fuck yeah. I might not remember to look that up, so if you can, send me a link to that, because I definitely want to. It's a lot easier to watch that than to fucking pull all the movies down, have them scattered everywhere, and yeah, definitely gonna have to check that out. Oh, that's fucking fire. But yeah, speaking of fire though, got a fire show coming on tomorrow. I can't remember if I have it simulcasting over here, but it's definitely on the other channel, DCLX VI Films, as you can see on the little small part of the banner here. There we go. Can never get the pointing down. But tomorrow I'll be going live again there and have one show for you guys. Thank you, Chris. It's going to be coming on. Some updates on Dog Screams. You guys know script is still going on for that. I got a couple little casting announcements finally, so that was awesome there. I reached out to a couple people. Of course, one I had to recruit in the neighborhood here, but got a scene that's going to require a few people, so that's one where I'm reaching out. I haven't quite gotten it completely written out and fleshed out how it ought to be, but I have the general idea for it, and I think it's going to be pretty sick. And honestly, I don't know if it's just like if I'm proud of what I'm trying to do, or if it's like I'm genuinely excited, or if I'm just trying to plug the hell out of it. It's probably a combination of all three. You take pride in what you do, and that's exactly one of the things going on there. And I totally fucking realized that I jacked up the continuity for Dog Screams already. That's again why that was just a teaser. Speaking of which, fucking A. Oh, nice segue there. Absolutely, man. If I'm trying to plan it out ahead of time, I can't do it. But if I just kind of roll with it as if I was on a sweet segue, I've always wanted one. I still do. Maybe I could buy one after get a couple films made. That's a lot of nuts. Yes, and that is actually a very good statement, considering the theme of today's show for the most part. I think they kind of come hand in hand. Absolutely, yeah. I'd say so, man. Pair of nuts. I mean, that guy is. I don't think I've seen Hostel 2, but now I'm just going to be waiting for that scene there. But yeah, I guess we could put nuts into the conversation there. How many dick maulings are there? Oh my god. You know, God, any, I don't know. This is definitely a guy thing. I don't know if the ladies out here have something they can particularly relate to with that. But when there is violence toward the dick, that is always one of those things that really just is going to be an unsettling thing. I mean, one great example, like, I, I don't think it's the first time I saw it, but it was like one that really stood out and stuck with me. Was a Scream 4, when a certain character, if you haven't seen Scream 4 for any particular reason, but a character gets his shit shot up, and it's like, oh, that is rough there. Like, oh, just, but that is good to know, though, man. That is good to know that everything's good down there. I should have read those in the right order there. See my fair share of dick mauled, sir. That's exactly what I've been feeling on the Saw timeline. I'm kind of hot. Yeah, no, honestly, it is a kind of like Zodiac said. It's a very good thing to sort of have that excitement and pride in what we're doing. I mean, that's kind of one of the reasons why I think we do what we do. Not so much really. Fuck, I forget how I was trying to say that, but it's always a good thing to have that great sense of pride in anything that you do, and it's not just if it's something that you're creating, if it's something that you're even participating in, like, say that, yeah, I just kind of have a little, I bring the guy the coffee to keep him awake, to hold the damn boom, like anything, if I can, whether it's manufacturing, like if you're manufacturing industrial air conditioners, a job I used to have, so you take pride in that shit. It doesn't matter what you do, you gotta have that semblance there. But especially if you're personally creating something that you have a passion for, it's definitely something you gotta have that. It makes all the sense in the world right there. See, I don't get it, ladies. Why would you ruin something? Exactly. That Scream 4 scene one, that Scream 4 one, every guy in the theater felt. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, see, I didn't see it in the theater, but I saw it on DVD shortly after it came out for home release. Oh, jeez, dude. Oh. Yeah, like, I kind of whimpered because I was like, really had a crush on her at that point. So I'm like, oh no, she's not a good girl now, is she? That's thinking, fucking a. Save a horse, ride a cowboy. Good shit. So I like everybody's train of thought here, the way of thinking. Oh please, Rosie, ladies don't need us. They make handmade substitutes. She'll need us. Yeah, yeah. No, that's kind of the truth there. But you see, the thing there, man, is we know that, but they're not supposed to know that we know that, because that helps them lower their standards when it comes to us. But secrets out there. We know. That's it. That's why I laugh at vegans. If that's what you do, enjoy it. But shit, you got to have a good amount of meat in your diet. That would have been more epic if I didn't have the sleeve in the way. They have battery operated toys for guys and gals, but all right. So that's the consensus so far. Definitely the actual meat product. That's There we go. That's it. Fucking, I'm just like slowly catching up to where you guys are at here. Yep. Oh, yeah. Mm. Oh, and Friday the 13th Part 4 too, for that matter. Like, oh, good God. And with Andy too in Friday 3, it's like, did he get chopped in the dick? Because the way that blade came down, the way that machete comes down, it looks like Andy's taking it straight to the dick and balls there. Just not a very good, not a good situation to put your beans in. Yeah, just oof. So now I'm sitting here like, who do you high five after? So that's it. See, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. You know, like, you could high five yourself, like, if you're a guy and you high five yourself, it's really more of a clapping situation. But then you can get into the gray areas of like beating up on your partner because, you know, it's fucking, oh, that's a whole messy gray area there. Yeah. But yeah, no, I do like to do the high fiving deal. It's like, we did good. I did good. You know, it's that sort of deal. Sometimes you gotta get yourself that pat on the back. Is that being conceited in some instances? Perhaps. Is it being a little full of myself? Well, I wasn't the one full of myself just a moment ago, so thank you very much, you know? Anyway, fuck, I need to go to church after all this shit. Anyway, we are at about the half-hour mark. As you guys know, that's typically how I run these. We're going to just plug the film projects one more time. Of course, we got The Dog Screams coming up. Script is moving along pretty well there. And that is actually... It's funny how the teaser was the only thing I had, and then it's like, all right, now I got to create a story for it. And the story, I think I got pretty well figured out. If not for Snyder, I wouldn't have realized that it actually does echo Falling Down just a little bit and sort of the conceptual theme of it. But it I don't know, it's something... I think it's going to be pretty good if I don't say so myself. And again, we will be back tomorrow discussing that a little bit more. Again, a couple of little casting announcements, and there will probably be a little more to the overall conversation discussion there. Not sure how long that one's going to go for, because those, I don't know. But you guys know what to do. Y'all have a good one. Play with the little icons down there. If you haven't already, go and check out the other channel. If you hit the little icon that says Department of Fear on it, I think that'll take you to the main page. You go over to community and you scroll like once or twice, and you can get a link to the other one. I don't quite have a link set up for it right now, I don't think. So be sure to go and check that out, because that's where most of the film work updates are going to be going on at. So be sure to check that out. You guys have a great, safe, productive Saturday. Watch the scariest movie you can, something that puts the fear of God and the devil into you, because it is Sunday, damn it. And what's more appropriate than religious horror? Watch The Nun. I haven't seen it yet.
Dog will hunt! Get that bitch, Leatherface! Get that bitch! Dog will hunt!